I am not ready for pages 8 and 9, but I am thinking about them. What I've decided to do is I've gone through all my scrap pile and I've taken out a lot of the pieces that I think are going to work with this page, picked a couple of papers and started on an idea for on page 9 it's the top part of the page, and on page 8 it'll be the bottom half. So I'm going to start off with the bottom of page 8, which is the top of page 9, and I shall give the measurements for the bits of paper, then I go and cut all my bits and pieces, and then I come back. So what you'll need for page 8 and also page 9, we will start off with, and I've got to have my page 9 bits here so I know what I'm doing. Okay, so the first bit you'll need is, let me get my scoreboard so I can get the right measurements. So this piece is 9 1/4 by 6, and on the 6-inch side I've scored it at 3/4 of an inch and 5 1/4 inches. So this gap in between, when you fold this in, will be 4.5 inches wide. I've then turned it round and scored it on the 9 1/4 inch side at 8 1/4 inches. So that's the first bit. The second bit you'll need is a piece that's 4.5 by 5 3/4. That just happened to be 5 3/4 because that's the piece of scrap that I had. Okay, next. Now you won't need it this big, but I haven't decided how it's going to turn out yet. But you'll need a piece that's an A4 sheet, and I've scored it along the 8 1/4 inch side. I've scored it at 4.5 inches. Then I've turned it round and scored it at 8 1/4 inches. Okay, that's that bit. Then you'll need a piece that is another A4 piece, and this is 8 1/4 inches by 11 5/8, and I've scored this, I think I scored it this way round, I scored it at 4.5 and 9, and then I turned it this way and I scored it at 7. So that's that bit. Next, I think that's it. Woohoo, that's it. And of course you'll need the same as well for page 9. That's right, it's a lovely sunny day again, so my hay fever is playing up terribly. Right, let's move these bits out of the way for a second. Okay, so on the A4 piece that's scored at 4.5, 9 and then 7.5, 7. Oh, look, I've only just done it and my brain's not working. 7. Right, you want to fold in, and this is the same as the previous one. You want to fold in the large flap first and then the small flap, and then straighten it out so that you don't get any bowing up of the pages. Okay, then you undo it, fold in the bottom flap, give that a burnish. Now you want to cut on the 1-inch flap here, on the 2 horizontal score lines here. You just want to cut into that 1-inch flap on both sides, and you're going to remove this piece and this piece. So you're going to keep this middle piece and take off the top and the bottom 1-inch flaps. So I'm going to do that. And the reason I cut these bits first is because when I did this first time round, I mitered my corners and I didn't want to do that. So I wasted something, but I'm sure I'll find something to use the scraps for. Okay, so that's that piece, and that piece goes in, up, and this flap stays loose. On the larger piece, now I'm just going to quickly check to see. Yeah, of course it is. Because we're doing pages 8 and 9, you can do this to 2 pieces of paper, because the only difference is the way you're going to fold them. So if you cut 2 pieces, for everything I say, cut 2 pieces. And I'll just double check, this one's right, yep. Right, on the 11 5/8 by 8 1/4 piece, you want to cut out this small square in the corner. So on the smaller flaps, you want to cut in both sides, and most people would be able to do this with a pair of scissors. I, unfortunately, can cut in a straight line about as well as I can draw in a straight line, which is, I can't. So, there we go, and you just take off that square. Rectangle, it's not a perfect square. Okay, put that to one side. Now, that's it. Okay, for the next one, which I've had to do again because I cut it wrong on my first video. Just going to score them. Just going to burnish these edges. Right, so for this bit, what you need to do is, right, for this small flap here, I'm just going to miter my edges up to the score line on each side here. So I've just mitered in that small flap, and I'm going to fold in these edges. I'm going to take my small rectangle, I'm going to line it up on the bottom. I'm just going to mark with a pencil how far up that comes. Right, so here's my pencil lines, and what I'm going to do is going to miter, well, first I'm going to miter these bottom bits. Not quite that much, but okay. And now I want to miter on the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this flap, basically. So I'm going to miter on the edge there, just up to the score line and where my little pencil mark meets. So if I tuck that in, and tuck that there, I want to remove now this bit and this bit. So what do I do with my ruler? There's my ruler. Okay, I want to remove that side, and then this side. Like that. And the only differences between the bits of paper you have on page 8 and page 9 is how you're going to fold them. So you start off with these pieces on page 8 and 9, and you fold, it doesn't matter which way, I don't think, nope. So you're going to fold all the flaps in and then lay it out with the smaller flaps on the outside. So this is page 8 and this will be page 9. It'll be like that, but so you know how it's going to lay. This is what I'm doing so that I can figure out my own head. Then the larger piece with the a small rectangle cut out on one corner. For page 9, yep, no, yep, right, page 9, you want to hold it with the rectangle missing on your bottom right. You're going to fold the small flap, focus, small flap towards you and the large flap back. Okay, and that's going to, that's right, so that one's going to go there. So on page 8, you want to do it the opposite way. You want the missing rectangle on your bottom left, and you want to fold that small one in and the large one back. Okay, these, it doesn't matter, they just go there and there. Okay, now for this one. The reason I'm doing it this way is because when I cut the decorative papers, obviously they're going to be directional, and I don't want any to be upside down. So this is page 8, this is page 9. Page 8, you hold it like this, so the flap is on your right, the small single flap there is on your right. You fold the big flap down, the next flap up, and this is the way the paper's going. That's how it's going to sit, and that's going to go in there. That's going to tuck up. Okay, so on page 9, you have this tiny single flap here on your left, and you fold the bigger pocket, the bigger edge down, then you fold the smaller edge up. This one folds back, and this one goes here. So I want a decorative edge, and this is where I start. Right, so I want a decorative edge here, and my papers go that way. That's so I know. And I'm going to put 9 here. I want a decorative edge here. It goes that way, and that's page 9. I want a straight decorative edge here. Okay, and I also want a decorative edge here. And this is that direction and page 9. That's all the decorative edges. Oh, and a straight edge there, goes up that way, page 9. And then if you want to put in a small edge here, you can do. What I will probably do, if I want a decorative edge on this bit, I will take a bit that I've already punched out and add it to the page afterwards. So I shall probably do that rather than punch it out, because there's only a tiny bit here. Okay, so I will go and do that. This is page 8. And that's page 9. This is page 8. I want a decorative edge here. This is page 8, and it goes that direction. I always do my arrows upwards. That way, because I always do it the same, I always remember. Page 8, and page 8. Okay, so I am now going to cut all my decorative edges, and I will be using, obviously, the same dies and punch that I've used before. So I'll be using this Clearly's die, which once again is Clearly's number 12. Clearly's on the edge, number 12. There. So, and that's the web address, Clearly's, that's CREALIES.nl. It's a Netherlands web address that she does ship everywhere. And like I said, they are really, really good prices, really good quality. They cut beautifully, so we'll recommend those highly. Okay, I'm going to go and do that and then I'll be back. Okay, all my bits have been cut. So, the next thing to do is to put together these bottom parts of the pages. So I've marked all my bits that I've cut. I'm going to put those to one side. Make sure they've all got the right numbers on. And they have. Okay, so start with page 8. I want all these bits that you cut off, all these little bits, I know I've said it before, I'll say it again, save them, because it will save you time and effort further on. I mean, you can use them, you know, to mat just the bottom, then you put a strip on and then of a different paper and then mat the top. Anyway, so we're going to start with, I think, this one. So we're going to put tape here and here and along the bottom, and that's going to be the first bit. So get some of my tape out. There we go. So a little bit of tape on the bottom there. And then tape on the sides. Alright. I think the best thing for me to do is going to be to do both together, so that I'm doubly making sure that I'm putting them in the right place. So I'm going to do the same. Make myself a bit of space. That's page 8. I'm going to do the same here for page 9. Did it again, wrong way round. I'll get there eventually. Take a little bit off there. Okay. And yes, I did order myself a new bone folder. I've got a bamboo one at the moment, and I've also ordered myself a Teflon one. No, a real bone one. And see how I get on with those. Right, that bit off, that bit off, and that bit off. And some glue. Okay, and just line this up at the bottom, nice and even. And this is why I ruin my mats so quickly. Okay. That's one. And now for this one. Page 9. Same again. Line it up at the bottom. And then place it on.
Right, now they're down.
Oh, there. Okay, that was hubby just telling me he's going out on his bike and doing me a coffee. So, okay. So, that's the first bit, page 8 and 9. Pockets done. So, hubby's just going out on his bike. Nice and noisy. There it goes. Okay, next we want this one with the flap. Okay, and I didn't punch an edge, I kept the full, almost the full width. I took about 3/4 of an inch off and cut myself a decorative edge rather than the punched edge. So, this one, I think I've done it right. Oh, this is going to be 9 then, isn't it? No, it's not. It's going that way. Okay, so number 8, and that's 8. Number 9. Let me get the right one out. There we go. Number 9. Okay, so page 8. I've got the pocket facing towards me, and the flap here, I'll put a little bit of tape on it, is on my left. Obviously, I'm going to take the next bit of page 8, which is this one. So, and it's going to be the flaps up towards me, and the large flap is away from me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that over like this, bring this flap down, and I'm going to line this up along here, straight on top of that pocket, and then this I'm going to glue down here. So I'll take that off, add a little bit of glue, and fold that over. Okay, so this thing comes up, this is a flap here, and there's a pocket here. Okay, now for page 9. Page 9, obviously, pocket is here, opening on the right with the flap on the right, and the small flap is up on the right, and the larger flap is underneath. So I'm going to turn that over once again, bring that flap down, line this up, make sure that is lined up properly. That's better. Release the tape back in, add some glue, and pop that down. Okay, that's slightly wobbly there. Let's get that straightened up. I will get it straightened up. All I have to do is hold that down and there we go. Okay. Page 8, page 9. Right, now I want to open these up again. Page 8. Right. Going this way up. So my decorative edge is in the middle here. This is at the bottom. Large flap at the top, and this one is here. Now what I'm going to do is first I am going to run a smallish bit of tape right along this bottom edge. That's page 8. You don't want this tape too wide because obviously you're going to make either a pocket or a tuck spot, whichever you prefer. Okay. Release my tape. This one's page 9. Add some squeaky glue. Now, if you're doing this as a straight to page pocket, don't glue this down because you won't be able to get your decorative papers on the edges. And sorry, I just realised I've got a pencil mark. Sorry about that. I really want to get rid of that before. Oh, and I forgot to put tape along the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just above that score line, add some glue. Right. Okay, let's get this one done and get some tape on this one. Just above that score line there on the small flap. Larger flap in first. Release the tape. And then add the glue. Not inside because you don't want to stick that bit of the pocket down because you're just going to make yourself a very small pocket if you do. Once again, the same as on the previous pages when I did 6 and 7, if you don't want this as a tuck spot, don't do it. Make it a smaller flap and glue it on the inside. Okay. Now, the small flap you've got left over here, I want to fold that in over this straight edge. So I don't want it flat. I don't want it on the pocket side. I want it on this with the straight horizontal side. So I'm just going to give that a really good burnish. Same on this one. page 8. On this second larger flap that you put on, where they join, you want this one just above the join, so you can still close this bit. Like this. That does look wide, doesn't it? Never mind. Okay, so score tape along the bottom here. Once again, you don't want it too, you want a good tape. Now I'm using red line tape, but you don't want it too wide because you're going to use that as a little tuck spot. And anyone who's seen any of my previous videos will probably think this looks familiar. It's based on one of the pages I did in the 2 Christmas albums in the box. It's the Gatefold album. It's based on one of those pages. So making sure, this is page 8, that the tuck spot pocket here is at the bottom, because obviously you want it to be able to put things in. I'm going to place this here. So release my tape back in. Don't want to release my tape because obviously then my pocket won't work. My flip won't work. Add a bit of glue there. Now if you're unsure of how far down you can put this, line it up gently and then bring this up to close it. Okay. That's page 8 done. Page 9, once again, making sure that this small pocket bit here is at the bottom. Release my tape backing. Add my glue. Place that on. There we go. So that is the, and this is how it's going to go. The magnet is going to go here and here, so this stays closed. And then flips out. So that's the bottom of page 8 and the top of page 9 done. Now I'm going to do these other bits. So I haven't got any of that done yet, so what I'm going to do is going to get that all prepared and then I'll be back again.